Hi everyone, welcome to WIC channel. My name is Rifad. So it's time in the time of the month again. There are three famous investments to do in the month per month, I would say. And I just gonna go at the recap and show you guys a couple of investments I would recommend in terms of stocks or the kind of diverse ideas that I could kind of show you guys, right? And as you guys can see, also one thing is the new kind of swag I got myself for the channel, and t-shirt with the amazing the amazing logo in the left. Very good. Drop a like if you guys like it. Really amazing to see. So this coming back a bit to this video. This video mostly in the series I want to recap is kind of investment ideas. I don't go in depth of the company. I just kind of go ahead and show you guys brief overalls. I kind of show you the PE. I show you the earnings and kind of give you the future outlook within also the company, but not really in depth. In-depth videos is different. I would go really breaking down the earnings. There are a lot of more in-depth. I would really dedicate a video for it. If you guys want me to do this kind of stuff, let me know in the comments. I would gladly do it. But yeah, so just gonna give you guys an idea. And also, this is not something I would say for you guys to go and invest. So it's your own discretion and stuff like that. So cool. So yeah, let's jump into it. So the first stock I would say to kind of look into it's Blizzard. I'm just gonna go through a brief overview. I did an in-depth video in the video of Blizzard. I can put in the link down below if you want more information or stuff like that. You can go ahead and take a look at that video in question, right? So the earnings report came last week, which caused it to kind of a pull back, right, from the highs of 49. And I think the earnings was very good. And also, drop a comment if you guys want me to kind of do earnings recap of Blizzard, which I did not do, but if you guys want it, I'll gladly do it. Just to recap, the earnings came out very good. They beat on certain on estimates, but the future forecast was not as we'd say great, because they keep on stating that this year is a transitional year, and I kind of like this kind of stuff, transitional years, because those are the years that year itself you can collect a lot of shares at cheap price, right? Because transitional years means future growth in the future, right? That's also important to know. So you see they're kind of pivoting, they're kind of restructuring the whole things. So we're gonna go into briefly on their statistics. You guys can see here the trailing P is 21. Analysts are expecting the future earning growth to be and bring it to 18 PE, which both of them are pretty good, you would say. And also you can go into their revenue. Brief idea is the 7.36 billion. Their diluted earnings per share is $2.28. They have a good cash balance, a good balance sheet, which is very important. Not much debt, so if there's any problem they can easily clear the debt with the existing cash, so that's very good to know. Those are kind of important things I always like to see. The balance sheet has to be kind of strong if anything happens and stuff like that. They also pay out a dividend, but the dividend is barely anything for them. It's like around almost 15% of their earnings per share, I would say, and also they increased it in the last quarter, they told. And we can go through the past year. You guys can see they went from 4.6 to 7.5 billion, which is very good to know. So it's kind of a good increase. They had a good increase through the quarter, and stuff like so. It's a very good plan, right? They have, and you can go to the analyst expecting now for the next quarter coming in. They're expecting average around 37 cents when last year was 41 cents. Overall this year they're expecting $2.18 when was last year's $2.60 in earnings, right? Their sales revenue is supposed to drop almost 8%, and overall this year they're supposed to drop almost 12% in earnings revenue. As you guys can see, this kind of shows that this year is a transitional year for Blizzard, and they're kind of organizing. So I would say, I covered a bit on that video. I said they're mobile gaming. They're really investing a lot with the exposure to China and the partnership with Chinese companies that can help them to kind of grow there and have exposure to an amazing billion-dollar industry over there, right? So it's very good over there. and the esports exposure, right, with their partnership with Bud Light, and like esports is gaining a lot of traction, which can have a good exposure for them in the future and what they're planning to do. It's and I think it's really I think it's just in a growth phase, I would say, of esports, and the future that's standing for esports in the coming years. It's I think people don't really, have not evaluated as per how esports can be and how strong it can be. I think it's just growing, and a lot of people are gaming, and a lot of people love to see those tournaments, and like see like Overwatch games and leagues. It's starting to really ramp up, and it's something that people love to see, and it's live, so it's kind of a new concept, new revenue stream, and Blizzard is leading that, which I love a lot. And finally, I would like to say is, will I be buying or selling? Certainly, I don't plan on selling. I just recently just kind of got a position last month. I see myself increasing my position this month, but it also now because I kind of increased. I had a good position balance. I'm kind of satisfied with the amount I have. I do want more, but I think I'll wait for the right price, I would say. And I'm expecting almost a kind of transition year, and they could have a good couple of pullbacks of this month. So I would mostly grab some more shares at a certain level, which I consider it could be a good ratio, I would say, and I'm kind of a good opportunity to buy in. Until that, I would just kind of hold on, and I would just watch and wait until see what transpires, right? So yeah, that's finishes for one stock. Now let's go over to the other one. I just thought, and it's 1933 Industries. I thought it'd be fun to kind of put spec stock. I thought it gonna bring it back in. It'll be could be good to light up, mix it up a bit, and see mix it up, right, and like give you guys other opportunities to know. So kind of get an idea is statistics why they're kind of a spec stocks because they don't have much. There's no PE ratio. They're still losing a lot of money, but they're really growing on the industry, especially in the weed structure. So they are kind of give you a recap of the company. Is there are weed marijuana stock company heavily focused on Las Vegas, Nevada, while exposing a bit over here. So I guess can show you guys their sheet here. If I'm correct, it's over this one here. No. I'm trying to find their it's over here, sorry, yeah, this one here. So they're currently exposure like in over here, so they're kind of growing a lot. They're kind of a bit in Canadian markets, but not a lot, I would say. I wouldn't put a lot of things on emphasis on that. They're more really focused on heavily on West, and they're trying to grow from there, right? And all starting from their Nevada, like Las Vegas, Nevada's place, right? They want to kind of grow their area, and they're really want to heavily focus on making a lot of money there. I don't know if the financials, if I'm correct, the financials should be here. So it's kind of, you just can see that they released the earnings report for their month like ending in January 31st. They made $3.7 million, which is very good because I mean, like when you compare it to previous year, they have a really good growth and growing constantly. So I like that, and I see like so this year they did a lot of investment last year, so kind of to help them grow. They're still growing, I would say, and they're growing a lot, but they're to grow their facilities, which is I think a lot of things are banking on that per se, because they're building the new facilities with like 67,000 square foot, which is this one here, which right now they should I think they're mostly going to be planning to move in soon, and cultivation. They're all already, their clones already, everything. You should see a couple of conference calls they have. The clones are ready, they're putting it in, and by August they should be starting to kind of reap the reward and kind of sales, because the problem is they don't have the capacity of the building is kind of all the what do you call building, I mean cultivating is getting sold out, and right now with this cultivation building will just increase much more potential and gains of revenue for them. So that could be very interesting for them over the long run, so it's kind of that kind of avenue they have, right? Also, I want to cover also the legalization map of United States. It's taking a lot of traction, as you guys can see here. The black ones are like kind of fully legal, and certain like medical. I also dropped this link down below as per kind of show you guys. You guys can go through it, right? So you guys can see is US is taking a lot of traction in that. As per one of the things is the the Farm Act that passed back in I think last year. The Farm Act helps is they kind of legalize the production of hemp, which now even 1933 industry is going to go into that field also. So going into that, legalizing hemp means they can produce hemp and kind of sell, and that'll be legal, so they can kind of make a lot more money off that, right? So that's also one of the things that passed. And also another thing is, you guys know, is they have is I would say is the SAFE Act, which is now pending Senate vote. The banking group of people approved it, but now pending Senate vote. That kind of puts in forces, like, let's cannabis business to kind of deal with banking services. So that's kind of a huge move. So that passes, that would be a huge move, because right now they cannot deal with a lot of banks, and if they do deal, it's kind of illegally. So that's kind of playing against them. So also with that pressure and the hemp legalizing, and now also with the canopy, which is kind of pending the deal, they want to buy acreage. So when that deal also kind of pushing the States Act to kind of process in. The States Act is kind of letting the states dictate what they want when it comes to this kind of stuff. So if those kind of key elements, I think it's a transitional year for the marijuana field in the United States, and also for 1933 Industries, because they are kind of positioning themselves very well with certain kind of strategically deals with the West, mostly of US, especially in Nevada, which is kind of a huge, right? And also you guys can see here is a couple of states they put in their report as per they're moving into fully legalizing marijuana. So this is kind of a huge deal down the road. There are a lot of people, a lot of states are moving to it. They know it's a huge industry, a huge revenue stream, a huge new tax collectible for the states. So this is kind of a good area that they need to expand. So what else? I'm just going through quickly my note. I think I missed the one here. Let me get this here. Get this here. Sorry, just pull up my notes. Yeah, because they have a couple of strategic partnerships they did, right? We all know that they have one with Tony Hawk, which is not releasing. That's kind of a huge thing. That also it's in this investor relations sheet that I kind of put it into the YouTube video. I'll put in the description. That is helping them, and also Corrupt. They're gonna kind of brand their stuff also. So that's kind of huge. I think they made a couple of good deals. It's over here with Birdhouse over here, and Corrupt with this licensing over here. So that's kind of helping them, right? So it's kind of they kind of strategic in itself. I see this as when it's kind of funny. I'm going to compare it to Canopy. When Canopy launched back in 2014, 15-ish, they were making deals with like Snoop Dogg and like stuff like that. People like, what's going on? So I think 1933 is kind of doing a similar way. But in a smaller spectrum, I would say. But they're kind of starting off in the industry with Corrupt, which is a very good weed as per the comments and reviews I've been reading, and also now teaming up with Tony Hawk, which is also another one of celebrities, right? So yeah, this is kind of a good thing, and I think overall I just want to go too long into the future, but I think this is a good growth aspect. If you have room for a kind of spec stock, could be interesting to have, right? And you guys can go through a bit and read a bit more about them afterwards. As for if I'm buying or selling, I don't know yet. I do own a small position in them. I might buy a bit more, depending also again on the price of the stock. So yeah. Finally, and the third one is I bring it back again. It's cash. I think its market is kind of still not overvalued, but I think it's kind of fairly valued. So I mean, that's the reason you don't get a big deal. So I think if you don't have to buy a stock, or you don't feel a need to buy a stock, or you don't feel that stock is undervalued, don't do it. I would say, that's my case. I would hold on to cash and use that cash to kind of increase the position when there's a pullback, right? When last time, like the Blizzard, when there was a pullback on their stock, boom, you can cash in on the pullback, because people are just kind of nervously selling. So I would say just hold on to cash. Cash is a good investment to have also in the sidelines to kind of help you guys pull the trigger on opportunities you might have that are surprising. So that sums about it for this wonderful video. I don't know, drop a comment. What stocks you guys are looking into for the month of May? What do you guys think about these stocks? Let me know. Or investment ideas. I would love to hear from you guys, like always. And in the description, as always, you have the Twitter link and the Facebook group. Would love to have you guys over there too. And that's all. So you know what? If you like the video, thumbs up, subscribe if you guys didn't subscribe, and thank you for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day. Whoosh!